trouble with it. Okay. All right, so back on the Fairmont build, doing another video for it. Hopefully we can stay on top of them now, but we've got some more interesting stuff now. We actually have the car here. We've actually got the car here. In the last video, all you guys seen me build was the motor. Got this built. Not sure if we're gonna run this intake or not, but this is all of our budget parts that we've got to throw on the Fairmont. We've got our motor with our sloppy stage 2 cam, 12-18 valve springs, our broken case transmission that we're going to use as well. It's got a trans brake in it. I've got a TCI converter for it that I bought for like 300 bucks. And then we've also got a K-member that I picked up used with control arms for 400 bucks. And that came with this coilover kit as well. So we're going to be putting all that stuff on. We're going to be putting all that stuff on the Fairmont. So let's get this thing pushed over.
Switch it up.
All right, so we've got the Fairmont up on the lift. First order of business is getting our suspension on. So the reason why I decided to buy a K-member is, one, it was local and it was cheap, and two, it just frees up a little bit more space for us. So we're gonna go ahead and drop this whole K-member. I'm gonna go ahead, rip the spindles off, probably take the rack off, take the shocks out, kind of disassemble what we need, because we're keeping the steering rack and the shocks and probably the spindles. And then we're gonna unbolt all this. We're gonna bolt our tubular K-member and our tubular control arms in. Then we're gonna take our old shocks and put our coilover kit on it. I want to do a little trick to give us some more travel, because we're probably gonna do a little bit of street racing with this thing. Do a little trick with our struts and our shocks to get us a little bit more travel. But once we get the K-member bolted in, that's the biggest thing we need to get our motor and transmission then down in. So in case you hadn't watched the last video, it's an LS1 out of a Corvette that was wrecked and had a broken block. I welded the block back together. We'll see what happens. And then we have this Turbo 400 that my dad had laying around, that had a trans brake in it. For some reason, it had a case that was completely shattered. Probably somebody didn't have a dowel pin in it and the transmission or something, and broke the case. All the internals were good. So we took all the internals out and put them in another broken case that he had. As you can see here, it's all welded up by yours truly. So he took the internals out of those, stuck them in this one. All in all, on the transmission, I'm in at 400 bucks. All in all, in the engine, I bought it for 400 and I sold the intake off of it for 300. So I'm in at about 100 bucks. So in an engine and transmission, we've got about 500 bucks. Plus I've got a cam and stuff in it. But anyways, those are the steps we need to do to get this thing, to start getting this thing together. So we're gonna go ahead and knock out the suspension, and then we'll be dropping our engine and transmission in. See where that spacer went? Okay, so we also don't need these because we've got these. Shout out to Jeffrey Edwards. He had these, he was gonna pitch them, came off a Mustang that he had, and I saved them, so we're gonna use them on this. All right, so one thing I'd like to cover is, yes, I bought a new K member and I bought a coilover kit. And typically, if this was like a full out build, I'd want to get some like double adjustable front shocks or even some singles. But in the name of budget, we're going to reuse these bad boys. They're painted blue, so I'm assuming they're Moog. So they're at least not blown out. Maybe, kinda blown out. Yeah. Okay, they're a little blown out, but we're gonna reuse them anyway. I see your eyebrows go up. We're gonna use them anyways in the name of budget. So we're gonna have a little, you know, a nice cheap K member. And why are you fucking laughing back here? We're gonna have a nice cheap K member, some cheap control arms. Damn, boy, you ain't even recording me right now.
Yeah,
We got a nice cheap K member, a nice cheap A arms, a nice cheap, well, actually a pretty nice Viking coilover kit that came with our K member, all for $400. You can't beat that. But we're gonna cheap out on our shocks, at least for now. Voila. All right, so as you saw, we got our old K member out, and now we're going in with our new K member. Now we got some control arms. Okay. Progress update. So we've got all of our suspension on. We've got our coilovers, our A-arms, our K-member, the knuckles. And now I really want to see how this thing looks sitting on the ground, but first we need to figure out what we're doing for brakes. And since I'm a cheap ass, I decided that we're just going to reuse, and I want to retain 4-lug stuff. We're just going to reuse the old rotors, probably put new calipers and brake pads on it, but right now I've got bearings on the way. So we're going to get new bearings for our rotors, new taper bearings. At least put new bearings in them because it's like $40 to do that. And yeah, we're going to run these same little 4-lug rotors. So we're doing this on a budget, kind of. It's turned into a little bit more of not a budget car, but it's still a budget car. I said originally like $3 grand, probably looking at like 4 to 5. All right, we're about to see how she looks on the ground. Now that all the front suspension stuff is done and we've got the coilovers kind of adjusted, we're gonna see how it looks. Hopefully like a monster truck. All right, stop right there. There we go. She's got a little bit of a rake to her, but I don't mind once we get some weight down in there. Once we get the motor down in there, it'll be a little. Oh yeah, she's nice and bouncy. Take a look at that. She's nice and bouncy. Before, the suspension was non-existent. So now at least we have some travel. But we get a motor sitting down in there and we're gonna have all kinds of travel. We'll measure it once we get the motor in there. All right, so in the next video, we're gonna get the engine and transmission in this thing. We're cutting this one now, right about 10 minutes. I wanna keep these each 10 minutes apiece. And then after that video, we're gonna get you guys caught up to speed on this thing. All these videos were taken way back in the summer, and I'm finally getting around to editing them and posting them. So stay tuned. Make sure you watch the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.